Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. How are you beautiful people doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Let me go to Instagram to put it live on Instagram. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everybody tonight? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited. I am so excited, man. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is H. Terrence Bardui. Some people call me H. Some people call me Havis. Some people call me Terrence. Some people call me Mr. Bardui. Some people call me what? Little boy, if you're from the 767, Whitey Kubuli, the Commonwealth of Dominica, St. Luke's Parish, aka La Puente. Call me Luca Boy. Dominica made me, Boston raised me. Now the South sustains me. How are you beautiful people doing tonight? Welcome, welcome, welcome. As we start our show, let us play our theme song and get it all in so we could start the show. I am really excited, ready to start. So let's keep it going. Sometimes it acts up as it normally does. And I gotta say, you know what? We're not gonna act up today. We're gonna play, man. We're gonna play. We're gonna play today. We're not gonna fool around. We're gonna get the show on the road. Let's see. We're gonna get the show on the road. We're gonna get the show on the road. Let's get it going here. And we will look. How are you doing today? How was your week? If you're in there, give me a shout out so I can give you a hello and say hello. Say hello to me so I can shout you out. If you don't do that, I really can't shout you out because I can't see you. If I don't know you are on there, we can't really do it. So we get in the theme song queued up so we can play it for you and get it moving. There it is right here. There it is. There it is. Showtime. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. This is H. Terrence Bardui. Dominica made me. Boom.
Dominica made me. That's where it all began. Island breeze, coconut trees, the heart of my plan. From the hills and the smiles to the songs of the sea, that island spirit molded the person I'd be. Boston raised me with its hustle.
Mr. Alvin, how are you, sir? How are you?
City
Let me
like
get rid of my gum.
dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray. On those snowy streets,
I'll be right back. Listen.
Navigating life, every rise, every fall. From the commons to the brownstones, I made my claim. With every lesson learned, I embraced my name.
I'm back.
Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray. Now the South sustains me with its warm embrace, a community of strength and love in every space. From the bayous to the beaches, I found my place. In this journey of finance, I've learned to chase grace. Dominica made me, Boston raised me high. The South sustains my soul as I reach for the sky. With every sunrise, I'm thankful and free. A licensed financial pro, just being me. So here's to the roots that shaped who I am. From the beginning the South I stand strong with purpose and pride, together with my journey, side by side.
Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. Hope you're having a great week. I hope your week is going fine. I'm chilling as we start Tuesdays with Terrence. It's a new week, man. I had a great week last week so far. It was the Muffin's birthday. We were in Northern Virginia. We had a good time up there. And then we went up to New Jersey to see a client. Came back to, you know, Central VA. Now I'm in the ATL with the kids, having a good time. Listening to booyah music, booyah music in the car, chilling like a villain. Thanks to Chandler who says, "Dad, what you know about booyah music?" He showed me this Russian guy who makes beats for booyah. Booyah music is universal now. But anyways, we're having a good time here with my children, so I'm excited. But even though I'm down here, the show must go on. Tuesdays with Terrence, nothing stops it. Sleet, rain, sun, heat, hurricane. The only time we don't do Tuesdays with Terrence is if we have no power. So I'm always out here, getting my grind in. I enjoy doing this. I'm going to my seventh year. February 4th will be 7 years that I've been doing this. And I'm really excited, about this. It's my going into my seventh year. So I'm excited. So it doesn't matter what you got going on. You got to tune in every Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesdays with Terrence. So I'm excited for that. For those of you who are watching, if you see or if you like what you see, you can share it. If you don't like what you see, just listen for a little bit. There might be a nugget or two that actually rocks your boat. Our topic tonight is if only we knew. If only we knew, right? I mean, like, remember Patti LaBelle's song? If only you knew how much I do love you. I do love my listeners, though. People who watch, listen to Tuesdays with Terrence. But let's see what markets did this week so far. On Monday, it was down. On Tuesday, the Dow Jones was down 116.38 points. The NASDAQ was down, oh my gosh, 355.20 points. And the S&P down 53.30. A lot of gains all week. We've been having some down markets. All the gains that you made, you know, it goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. And some of you are cool with that. Some of my clients, I was just with some of my clients over the weekend, and we were talking about how their stuff is protected, where zero is the hero. And you might say to yourself, what do you mean, Terrence, where zero is the hero? My clients participate in the gains of the market. They're not in the market. So the market goes up, they make money. The market comes down, they stay there. They don't lose nothing. That's why we call zero is the hero. And for some of you who are in your 50s, 60s, 70s, why is it acceptable to take loss? I just did a rollover for a client last week, I think it was. Week before last, and last week it came through. And we did what was called a in-service rollover. And some of you need to do that as well. Some of you have some monies in mutual funds. Some of you have monies in, somewhere, money market accounts. Some of you got monies, your 401ks, your 403bs, your 457s, your TSPs. You all got money in all of those things, and you're taking losses. It's not copacetic to be taking losses, man. So I want to say welcome to Isabel Joseph Cabone. Good evening. How are you? Hope you're doing well. And everybody else who's watching Tuesdays with Terrence tonight, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. We just look at markets. The markets is taking a beating this week, and I've always said I'm not opposed to markets for those of you who love it, but I think everybody's opposed to losses. Because I always say, if you owe me $20 when I see you, I want my $20. I don't want 1999. I want 1950. I don't want 10 or 15. I'll take 21 or 25 or 30, but 20 is the minimum I'm looking for. And then everything after that is uncivilized. So a lot of you guys are doing that stuff, and there's time. And, it was so funny. I was talking to my client on Sunday in Jersey, And my client was saying to me, you remember, back in the day, 6 years ago, we didn't do anything. And I wasn't mad at the client. They wasn't ready. Timing is key, man. I was telling to my son today. I was telling him some things happen when you're not ready for it, or things happen when in God's time. Too many times we try to rush things, because we want it when we want it, how we want it, if we want it. And I just think things happen in God's time, not your time, not my time, God's time. Now, you don't have to believe in God. All right. This is not a religious show. You don't have to believe in God. But regardless if you do or not, things still happen on His time. All right. So, like I said, I'm having a good week so far. See my kiddos. It's always exciting to be around my children. Get my ears is itching me. Always getting excited to see them. So right now, I got to do the show. I got to do the show. And because I got to do the show, I'm ready to go. So, how is your week going, folks? Put it in the chat. For those of you who are watching, some of you watch, you don't comment, and it's okay. Don't think you have to come in here and comment. Some of you don't want people to know you're watching. That's okay as well. But how is your week going? I drove down from Richmond, Virginia to Atlanta last night. And I had a good time on the road. But I want to know how your week's going. Is it going good so far? Um, Now, yesterday was Monday, and day before yesterday was Sunday. Those days are gone. There's nothing you can do to bring them back or do anything about it. We only have right now, this moment that you have with me right now is all you have. You don't even have tonight. You don't even have tomorrow. So don't worry about tomorrow. Worry about what's going on right now. How are you feeling? How are you doing? How is your week going? Is your week going well? I hope so. Mine's going fantabulous. Fantabulous. Is that a word? Fantastic. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's going good. You know, um, like I said, if you go on my Facebook page or my WhatsApp page, you'll see I post I'm going to put that little same post on TikTok as well. And me and my son cutting up in the car. We were going to do something and we're cutting up. We had a good time. So that brings me joy. I don't know what brings you all joy, but that brings me joy, which is a great segue into our topic. Just before we get into the topic, I want to say, what brings you joy, folks? What brings you joy? Is it your children, your husband, your wife, your job, your sports team, music, peace of mind? What brings you joy? What brings you joy? Remember the song by Patti LaBelle, If Only You Know How Much I Do love you. If only we knew what we know today. So I'm going to ask you a question tonight. It's a very poignant question. It's not a trick question, it's a very poignant question. If everything you thought to be true was not true, if everything that you thought to be true was not true, how soon would you want to know the truth? How soon? How soon? So the title of my subject and the title of my show tonight is If Only We Knew. If only we knew when we were younger, to save more. If only we knew when we were younger, to be a better student in school. If only all these things that has already passed us by, there's things we can change, we can fix, we can augment, we can add to, but certain things are gone. You can't bring back your youth, your teenage years if you're my age. I can't even bring back my 50s. You know what I mean? Or my 40s or my 30s or my 20s. But the last 4 years, I found out about my high school has a tailgate the night before Thanksgiving in Boston every year. And I started going, and I'm going every year. I reminisce. About sports that I played on sports teams, uh, cutting classes in high school. Although my high school was an examination high school, my first year I cut some classes to stay in music. What did it? I can play a little guitar. I still stink at it, but I reminisce on those things. But I can't bring those things back. I can't bring those days back. So all you have is just memories. So school has started for a lot of people. I know in Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, mostly the southern area, the southern states. I don't know up north. Because when I was a kid, man, we went to school after Labor Day. I remember my dad used to say, here comes Labor Day, get out the long johns. But now kids go to school earlier. And are your children, for those of you who have children or grandchildren, are they excited about the new school year? Remember when we were kids? I don't know about you guys. I remember when I was a kid, there's a horn going on outside that's been happening all afternoon. So you might hear this annoying sound. I remember when you were kids, you had new sneakers, remember? Or a new shirt, new pants, new clothes. The first week, boy, you're rocking new stuff. You're rocking your new stuff, right? But after that, you let it go. You let the new stuff go. So I hope that everyone has a good school year. Kindergartners, preschoolers, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, you know, postgraduate degree folks. Not but them, but the teachers, the educators, the professors, the custodians, the lunch ladies. Remember the lunch ladies? Man, in Boston public schools, we had the sloppy joes, man. I ate meat back then. I love me some sloppy joes. And the honey buns for breakfast, all that sugar, frosted flakes, and that cake. We had all of that stuff. And all of those things were part of our upbringing. But if only we knew. So tonight, I want you to start changing the trajectory of your thinking. You're like, if only I knew. So I asked the question earlier, if everything you thought to be true was not true, how soon would you want to know? And I asked you to put it in the chat. Nobody did, but I think you would want to know immediately. I think you would want to know immediately. I would want to know immediately if I thought something all my life that I thought was true was not true, and then I have to make a decision. I would want the facts to know if I can, so I can make a right decision, make an informed decision. That's what we have to do. So I was talking to one of my colleagues, and we were talking about, he had asked me, about insuring a young person. And I said to him, man, we want to start insuring people at 2 weeks old. At 2 weeks old, we want to start insuring people. That's what I told him. At 2 weeks old. And I think it's paramount that people understand that concept. At 2 weeks old, they need to start insuring family members. Some of us did it later. And I don't ostracize you for when you did it. And for those of you who just came on the show, welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. I know some of you might be having your dinner or you're just watching, or some of you, but if you say hi, I'll give you a shout out. If you don't say hi, I don't know that you're watching. But getting back to my point of view, um, ensuring young people as early as 2 weeks old is paramount. Paramount. You know why? Because at 2 weeks old, I've never heard someone was diagnosed with autism at 2 weeks old or being autistic. Now, sometimes you might be able to tell, but there's no diagnosis. So you guarantee insurability at 2 weeks old. Good evening, Cursaron. How are you? Welcome. You guarantee insurability. So what I'm telling people, a lot of people now, is to make sure that your children and your grandchildren, some of you have grandchildren, some of you don't want to insure yourselves. You got every excuse in the book not to do it. And that's your right, your prerogative. But give your grandchildren and your children that start that you didn't have. Don't be one of these parents who say, man, it wasn't done for me. So what? Love is an action. It's a verb. So if you love somebody, your children, your grandchildren, you could do something for them. Someone was asking me the other day, can they insure one of their friends' kids? And I'm like, no, you can't. You can't. But there's a loophole how you could kind of do it. For Christmas, instead of giving them on birthdays, instead of giving them PS4s and all these Jordan sneakers, Give them money and say, you know what, you need to use that towards a premium. Those, like I said, if only we knew, if only I knew. Let me tell you something. I've said this to my kids before, and that's on them. I think all three of them, I got three, and my wife has two. All right, so it's a total of five, right? But my three biological kids, I've told them 100 times, and I'll say it to them again. They should take a life insurance policy out of my life, where they own the policy. Invest in your legacy. Now, I didn't do that with my parents, and I wish I did, but I didn't know better. If only I knew. If only I knew. You know. And now, as time flies, as time flies, we realize it was too late for us. There's nothing we can do. Well, what about currently now? If you have a spouse, talk to them about that. Both of you get something. Wife gets something on the husband. She's the beneficiary. Husband gets something on the wife. Wife's beneficiary. And you pay for it. Now, don't say one person has to pay. The guy pays for it or the gal pays for it. No, you all invest in your legacy. Invest in your inheritance. Invest in something that you really care about, which is your significant other and your children. Your children, by the way, for those of you who own homes and stuff, when the time comes, what they're going to do is take the money and run. They don't want you, especially if they have a house, they don't want your house. They're going to sell the bad boy. If they have a car, it's better than yours, they're going to sell the bad boy. If you got clothes, some of your kids don't want to wear nothing you have. They're going to take it to Goodwill or tell all the family members come and raid the closet or may have a estate sale. That's what people do. So all these treasures that you're building, uh, that's why I tell people you have a nice dress, don't have a closet full of dress and jeans and suits that you never wore. What you saving it for? Remember when you were kids? I remember when I was a kid, my dad had a little china cabinet. But there's certain things you only use it when guests came through, special people came through. You know, you have to use the regular. For Kerr Ranch, he's gonna laugh. You have to use the calabash. You remember the calabash, Kerr? We used to make our bowls for calabash, and we used to have when they make a one pot, a broth or a soup. You put it in your calabash, man, or your breakfast. When we used to go to garden every summer in the country, we go to the country. Not summer, but school break. I even hate it when Caribbean people in Dominica say summer. Ain't no summer in Dominica. It's summer 24/7, 365. But school break time, we go up to the hills for a couple of weeks. You had your calabash, man. You watch that. You had your broth, your soup, your saltfish and cucumbers and tomatoes and watercress. Eating mangoes. You had that. Those are the good old days. If only you knew. If only you knew. So, for those of you, as you learn concepts, and I know there's people watching who have done what I'm talking about, you protect your children. I reached out to a friend of mine today, where I found out the college where their child is enrolled. There was a shooting there over the weekend. I was out of town, you know. But Sandy showed it to me, and I was like, "Whoa, you know, listen, anything is possible. Anything can happen." You know, I just got someone just sent me something in my WhatsApp about a family member who lost, and some stuff, and they're doing that one little fundraiser. You know, life happens, man. And if it happens for you, it'll happen for me. We all have different times when life happens, right? And I always tell people, when life happens, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Someone's calling me right now, but I'm gonna, uh, actually, I'm gonna send them. It's so funny. Someone is calling me right now. I'm gonna send them my Tuesdays with Terrence so they can tune in. I'm going to send it to them actually because they don't know I'm doing a podcast right now. I'm going to send it to them and say, doing a podcast right now, tune in. I'm going to say, doing a podcast right now. So please tune in. Tune in. All right. All right. So, and that's what I do when, when people call me during my show and this person doesn't know, they don't know. So basically, I'm telling them no. My show is called Tuesdays with Terrence. I'm gonna say, hold on. I'm gonna say my show is called Tuesdays with Terrence. I want to say I am live now. I am live now. Remember last week I was doing this and my client called me. We had to do a rollover and move some money, and I did it right on the right on the air. I did that. Kurt says next time in DA I'm around, I'll do that by Calabash. That's good. Eva, bonsoir, Doudou, Sagafet. Bonjour, my big sister. Ulakabat, welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. Welcome. We were just talking about Calabash. Remember when we were kids and in the summer, go Fiji? We had your Calabash to eat food. We were just talking about that, the good old times, the good old times. I want to say welcome to, is that Eudine Hubbard I see? My beautiful friend from Florida, childhood friend since I was like, what, 13, 14 years old? She's a grown woman now. Welcome. Good to see you on Tuesdays with Terrence tonight. The title of our show tonight is If Only You Knew. If Only You Knew. Now, there are some things that we didn't know. We can't go back to the past. You can only have reunions. You cannot go back. If you're my age, you can't go back to your teens, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. You can't even go back to 60 because I'm older than 60 years old. What I'm saying to you guys is simply this. The mistakes that we thought we made were not mistakes. They were actually what we knew. When I meet with clients, right, one of the things I usually tell them is I pat them on the back. I said, when we get off, pat yourself on the back. You've done a good job. You did the best that you know how. I don't have a problem with individuals who did the best that they could. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with people who, after they're educated, don't make an informed decision. I always like to inform people about their rights and options. When I inform you of your rights and options, then you make an informed decision. Like I told you guys, my daughter's getting married next year. I'm excited for that. But there's some things she and her fiance need to do, put in place, and I will talk to them about that. So listen, protect each other just in case, just in case. And sometimes we don't want to do that. So what I'm saying to you guys here, for some of you, do you have a business partner? Do you have a small business and you have a partner? You're like, okay, I have a small business. Well, do you have a buy-sell agreement with your business partner? Excuse me, we call it key man insurance. As a matter of fact, if your business is booming, one of my business partners, we're going to be talking to some small business owners next month. We're going to talk about executive bonus plans. We're going to talk about ways that they can use the concepts that I teach to maximize their retirement on a tax-favored basis. All that means is if they do what we tell them to do, in the future, they'll be able to access money and pay no taxes on it. Unlike your 401ks. Some of you who are on Social Security right now, if you're taking Social Security, it's taxed. If you have a 401k, 403b, 457 TSP, a thrift savings plan, you have to take what's called minimum required distributions when you turn age. Now it's 73. It might go up to 75. And there's some people, it started when they were 70 and a half. So anything you can do to augment, add to, supplement your retirement is always a good thing. And these concepts that I talk about here, I'm saying if you start early, if you start early, the earlier you start, the better it is. I was talking to one of my business partners yesterday. We were talking to one of our clients. I realized something did not go through the EFT, and I want to call my business partner. They basically told me the person said, "Oh, they got bills to pay." Well, we understand that, and I want you to pay your bills, but you have to budget these things in so that you can, because I can see the future. A lot of you can't. Now, I'm no prophet, okay? But I'll give you an example. Wealthy people, right? They don't plan for this weekend on Saturday night. Where's the all white affair? Where's the after party? You know, for those of you in Boston, where's the Boston Carnival? No. Where's the Labor Day? For those of you that they're thinking about 2 generations down the road. And some of you Christians come and say to me, like someone told me that I did a seminar at my old church back in June, and someone said, "Well, Jesus is coming soon." And I told the person, "I've known you for 40 something years. And we've been saying the same thing. I believe he's coming soon, but that don't mean you don't prepare, you don't plan." I had a pastor who said, "You got to live like he's coming tonight, but you got to plan like he's coming in 50 years." Because 50 years ago, I didn't think about now. The only person who can take care of your future self is your current self. And some of you, some of us, I should say, we don't want to take that advice. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. The reason why we don't want to do that is because, we're making all kind of excuses. And then, when life happens, we want to hit up our friends. And then when your friends don't respond to you, or they don't participate, or they don't contribute, some of you all get attitudes. How are you going to get an attitude about somebody else's stuff that they prepared for? And you refuse to do it because, one, you probably didn't know. Two, when you know, you still do it because you're a procrastinator. Three is because you don't give a damn. You don't care. So you can't be mad at people when they don't, support some of your initiatives. I even have a rule. Like I remember one time years ago when I started Tuesdays with Terrence during the pandemic, I was very successful, and I'm more successful now. But someone hit me up to support something for a summer school program. Now, I didn't have a problem with the individual doing that. I asked the person one question because I knew the answer. How did the person know that I have a show or I have money or had money? I don't know if they think I have, but they know, they see my post. They've never liked anything. Now, I didn't ask them to become my client because they couldn't have where they lived. They were in a different country. But you never liked anything. And you have family members here. You never shared anything, but you're asking me to support you. No, it's an oxymoron. It doesn't work that way. And there's some people who've supported me. It's not everything I say they're going to agree with. They've liked, they've shared, and they've had some situations come through and they hit me up. And I make a small contribution. One hand washes the other. So it's the same thing when it comes to your future. You have to be vested in it. Some of us don't want advice. Some of us don't want to take advice. Some of us think we know everything. Listen, I tell you guys all the time, and I tell it to my wife, I tell it to my friends. There's certain things I don't know, and there's certain things I don't know. I don't even want to learn. I don't even want to learn. I want to learn how to fix brakes. I don't want to learn how to change my oil. I don't want to learn how to power wash a house. I mean, I could probably do that. I know how to cut grass. I know how to iron, cook, wash. I can do that stuff. I don't want to learn how to, sheet rock a wall. I don't want to learn it. All right? Don't ask me to do it. But the things that I'm really good at, like financial literacy and educating you how to put it together and get your life in order, but you don't want to listen to me on that, but you want me to do sheetrock. I ain't doing no cotton picking sheetrock. I'm going to be doing this. Don't you see the guys, the pride I take in this? I mean, I post about financial literacy every day. And if you're on my, like someone hit me up the other day and I asked them, did they look at my page? And they said no. And I was like, why the hell are you in my DMs? Anybody that becomes my friends, I go in their DMs. And if you're my friend and I didn't like any of your pictures, you're probably a scammer. Because everybody that we friends, go check. I must have liked something you said. Something. Why do I do that? To let you know I'm alive, I'm I'm active, I participate. And it's the same thing when it comes to your financial stuff. You have to get active, participate, put stuff in place, change what you're doing. If what you're doing is good, add to it, augment it, make it better. It's not rocket science. And I take great pride in that. I take great pride in, advising my clients. Like I said, this past weekend, I was in Jersey talking to some clients of mine. I had a good time with them, you know. But like I said to you, I first talked to that client 6 years ago. I went to my phone. I had all these notes about this client. I know everything they had, what I thought I did. And 6 years later, I go to a seminar, I meet someone, they ask me, do I know this person from Dominica? They describe them. I describe them. I say, I know the person. And guess what? They're now my client. Doggone good one, too. What I'm saying to you all is this, folks. Um, I'm not even upset with you if you do it with someone else. I'm not even upset with you about that. I would prefer that you use Mr. H. Terrence Bardui, aka Havis, aka Terrence, aka Little Boy. I prefer that. And I tell you guys, I have clients who are millionaires, multimillionaires. I have clients who are paupers. I have clients who are middle, I won't say middle income, I would say middle class, upper middle class. I have clients who are just struggling. It doesn't matter where you are. I don't care about your financial situation. I don't care if it's copacetic. I don't care if it's lacking. Put something in place, man. Something. Budget it in. We budget everything that we want. You know, we budget getting our goatee hooked up. Some of you got hair, your haircut, or your hair do, your massages, you get your manicures, your pedicure, massages. We go out to eat. All of that stuff is great. I don't have a problem with you. Do that. I don't want you to live on ramen noodles and eat honey buns. I don't want that. I want you to live a good life. But I also want you to, in your golden years, that one thing, like today I was in Walmart. And the person who greeted me on the way in, on the way out, it was like almost someone like a teenager. But on the way in, a lot of times you see elderly people. You think they're there because they want to say, hi, welcome to Walmart. That's not why they're there. They're there because they have to supplement their income. So while you're younger and still working, you could supplement your income by putting something in place as well that you can access. So I don't get mad at people who didn't know. I don't even get mad at people who watch the show for the first time. I don't get mad at people who don't know anything about that. I empathize with them. I don't even get mad with people who know and don't do anything. I'm just disappointed in them. I remember my mother one time, she told me, I remember I got beat up, man, because I was on a Friday night. I should have been home Sabbath, right? You all know I'm an SDA. Man, when she found out what happened to me, she said, "You living in sin. I'm so disappointed in you." That stuff hurt. Not the living in sin part, but I'm so disappointed in you part. And I'm not disappointed in anyone who haven't put anything in place. I'm not disappointed. I'm not your parent. You know, some of you, I'm not even your advisors. What I am is a licensed financial pro who sit here every Tuesday from 7 to 8 and just talk about concepts. If only you knew, I made a lot of mistakes. I still make them. I'm not perfect. But I know one thing. They took the premium for my stuff at the end of July, and they're going to take it at the end of August again. I know that. I know that. So, if only you knew, if only you knew the things that I talk about today, you knew about it back then, would you have done it differently? Would you have planned differently in your life? You see, the past is gone. We can't dwell on it. We reminisce on the good of the past. We don't think about the bad of the past because we think we've learned from it. And the past is the past. And some of the things in the past do hurt. But what I do know and what I do understand is that every day, Rick Ross said, every day I'm hustling. I think every day you should try to make yourself better. You know, I have stresses in life as well. Was it last year? I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. Maybe because I yelled too much. Maybe I stressed about things too much. Never had that. So now, I have to take medication for it. It's under control. You know, I have to change some of the things I eat. Although as a vegan, I still love sweets, a lot of salt. Those things are bad for you. I need to get rid of that. I know that. I don't need anybody to tell me. Just like some of you guys, you don't need me to tell you what you need to do. But when you're going to start? When you're going to start? Next year? Next week? One of the things I usually tell people, right? Like when people tell me they don't have money to start something, I always say, what if we could do it today and you don't have to pay for it till next month to start? Is there anything that'll hold you back? And they go, and if they say, well, then I know you're full of crap. Because you don't have to, there's nothing you have to do. Folks, making wise decisions prevents poverty in the future. When I came into town, the hotel that I checked in at, you know, I it broke my heart. I saw a lady with her kids sitting on outside of the bench, and I don't know if they were in that hotel, one of the choice hotels, and I see a whole bunch of like backpacks and clothing, and I don't know if they were living there. Now I don't know what happened to those people. Life happens, right? I'm not here to save the world. That's not my job, but I'm here to save the world as well. What do you mean? Is that an oxymoron, what you just said? No. My point is that we cannot keep making the same mistakes. I was telling it to one of my friends, you know, who had a child and then they had another child again and, multiple baby daddies. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, real future. I'm like, yo, you did it before. What the hell are you doing? And I'm not blaming the lady because there was a dude involved too. But what I'm saying is, folks, you just got to make a decision to plan. You just have to, and don't let. I don't care what has happened. People get married, they get divorced. I'm married. I was married. I'm divorced. I'm remarried. Sometimes people don't get remarried again. Sometimes people have stress from their job. You may have a boss that's a complete jerk. What you gonna do? Either you can do two things: change jobs or learn to manage that. Our children may give us headaches. Our spouses. I know I'm a pain in the you know what, but what I'm saying here is that that doesn't change what you have to do for your future. If you notice, I haven't told anybody what they have to do. I usually make suggestions and recommendations. I even tell people slip in my DMs for those of you who watch and you don't have something in place. Stop, man. I'm gonna get in trouble with what I'm about to say. And I know this is a guy at my church, one of the elders, who says, Terrence, don't say it, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. If I see you because you put it on social media, traveling all over the place, going on cruises, going on Dubai and Mexico and you know Cancun and Aruba and Jamaica every 3 weeks in Bahamas and St. Lucia and Dominique. You go on 55 vacations every year and you're not planning for your future. when life happens, I really don't feel sorry. No, don't get me wrong. This week we go to vacation, local, you know. We'll be going to Martha's Vineyard in Newport, Rhode Island. Last week we were in D.C. and Northern Virginia. Sandy's birthday. She was at the spa day and went to eat Capitol Grill. Had a good time. But we're gonna do some stuff, right? Because you need a reset. You need a break. But my vacations, I'm working. I mean, I'm having fun. I have the kind of job there. Someone will reach out to me and they want to do business. I'm doing it because I could go walking. You see, the vacation and stress reliever that I need is a good walk in the park. I don't have to go to the beach. The first 12 years of my life, I was going swimming almost every day, especially on Sundays, right? And I encourage you to take vacations. I encourage you to take a respite. Sometimes your vacation should be a staycation. Get your chips together. Get your stuff together. Count the cost and budget for it. Save for it and then go. Don't go charging it because you have a credit card. You don't know how you're going to pay for it and you're paying all this. Well, if you do that, then I have to get you on a get out of debt program and then you're going to tell me you don't have the money for the premiums. But my clients who have a get out of debt program, who have an infinite banking concept, they charge their stuff. They go on vacation. When they come back, they borrow from themselves. They pay it off. They pay no interest. Excuse me. They pay themselves back, and they're creating wealth simultaneously. And you can do that as well. Good evening, Nora. How are you, darling? Good to see you tonight. I've been loving your posts lately. Folks, nothing is wrong with taking vacations. Nothing is wrong with going to Dominica and Kenya and Dubai and Bora Bora and the Philippines and Hawaii and Jamaica and Dominican and nothing's wrong with doing all of that stuff. Do it in conjunction with your preparing for your future. I was telling one of my clients the other day, we did a rollover for them, and I was like, you don't really have all that money, 30 to 40% belong to your uncle. And because of that, let's put some stuff aside too. I was telling someone the other day, the kind of job that I have, you guys have jobs, right? You have 9 to 5s. You got a boss, you got to commute on the train, drive. Most of my work is done via Zoom. It looks like I'm in an office right now, right? I'm in a virtual background with shorts. I got my American Classic Agency shirt and Kamem, you know what I'm saying? I got my ACA ring. You see that? That's the only time I wear it. But guess what? I can do this thing till I'm 90. As long as I have my mental faculties, I could be paralyzed and do this. And guess what? Some of you got to take your Social Security at 62 because I'm getting old, you need money. Some people, 65, the new one is 67. Man, I got my statement the other day. I ain't taking that bad boys for 8 years till I'm 70. Someone says, well, what if I don't make it, I don't make it. I plan to live a long life if the good Lord don't come. And I'll get $1,000 more a month. And I'm going to be working doing this because I can take a vacation anytime I want. Any day. I don't need permission from somebody, a boss. I don't need permission to go to the bathroom. I don't need permission to go to Dominica, permission to go on a cruise, to go anywhere. What I do is I work hard so I can fund it. I can fund it and pay for it. Like some people, they take extra shifts at work. If you're a nurse or you're a prison guard or wherever, you take extra shifts. Plan for it. I'm not opposed to going to the motherland or wherever you're from on vacations, but budget for it and plan for it. Don't be like some people I know, they're borrowing money and stuff to do that. Or you go in and you have no spending money. Just so you can take a vacation. You know what? I would rather you take a vacation from work, stay at home, go walking, go to do local things in your town. You know, we always trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to spend money we don't have to impress people we don't like and buying things we can't afford with money we don't have. I mean, why do we do that, especially black folk? My gosh, you all disgust me sometimes. But I love you though. Stop that foolishness, man. Stop that foolishness. Work hard, budget for it, and go on your vacations. And I'll be applauding you. I remember one time someone was going on vacation to Jamaica. I'll never forget it. And they told me at the airport. I don't know if it was a scam. That person was trying to scam me. They were at the airport. They don't have money to check in their bags. I'm like, what the hell are you going to Jamaica for? Who does that? Who does that? Now, if you got a husband or a wife, when you go on your vacation, or you got a man, you hit him up. Say, I need some spending money. You know, hit him up. I ain't got a problem with that. But point I'm making you guys, I'm being serious now. The point that I'm making you, as you plan, you can do that. It's the same thing you have to do for your future self. The only person who can take care of your future self right now is your current self. I don't care if you're in your 50s, your 60s, your 40s, your 30s, your 20s. All I'm saying to you is just in case if life happens, just in case if life happens, your loved ones will be okay. If there's anyone who depends on your income, a husband, a wife, children, grandchildren, people back home, a lot of us are from not from here. A lot of us are immigrants. We're from the Caribbean, we're from the motherland, Europe, different places we're from. South Pacific, I don't care where we're from. Central America, the Caribbean, different places. But guess and some of you support people back home. Some of us send money back home for family and friends who we knew who needed help, at the time. What I'm saying to you is, you know, budget and make sure, God forbid, something happens to you that, you know, if there's anyone who depends on your income, anyone who depends on you financially, it's incumbent on you to put something in place for that rainy day or if life happens. And if you don't do it, you're selfish. And don't tell me that, look, because some people back home, they're less fortunate. I know some people back home, they're full of crap. They'll tell you they need school starting, they need school books, but you see them at the next Fed. Let me tell you something. I'm weird like that. Some people don't like it, but I'm very frank. Some people told me I don't have to say everything that's on my mind. Well, I say a lot that's on my mind because I got to be fully transparent with you. Fully transparent. I don't feel guilty if I can't help you. You cannot guilt me into giving either. But what I feel for you is that you know that you need to take care of you as an adult. You need to put stuff in place. If you have children who are older or they're mature, in their 20s or 30s and they're struggling, help them. But make sure they understand they got to start putting stuff for a rainy day too. We all have to. So tonight, if only we knew when we were in our 20s what we know today. If only we knew what we know today when we were in our 30s. If only we, as a matter of fact, if only we knew what we knew last week. Make the appropriate changes. You have a small business, you get paid for the service you offer. I don't know what is your business. You cook, you do hair, you do taxes, you do, I don't know, you fix cars, you bake bread, you massage, you do fingernail. Put some of that money into something that can compound and grow. so that when you decide that you don't, because some of you all keep talking about retirement. You want to retire. I'm never retiring. Warren Buffett hasn't retired. The guy in the White House, I can't stand him. He ain't retiring. Even when he gets out, he gonna be still doing stuff. What I'm saying to you guys, just plan. You don't know how to do it? Reach out to someone like me. You don't like me? I got a bunch of colleagues I can put you in touch with. They're softer than me, they're sweeter than me. They may not be as good looking as me. Some of them are smarter than me. And I'll put you in touch with them. But the people that I do business with, they love me explicitly. They trust me explicitly. I have some clients who I have a client, she's in her 70s in Philly. She said, Terrence, don't die. I need you. Like, chick, you probably gonna die before me. I've never said that to her. But my point I'm saying, she swears by me. Sometimes she just calls me, like if she haven't heard from me like 2 or 3 months, she'll call me. Just call to see if you're okay. How's my stuff? It's perfect. You didn't lose nothing. There's some people who swear by me, man. I may not be the guy for everybody, but I'm the guy that everybody needs to listen to. I'm the guy everybody needs to listen to. And I really care about what I do. I don't have a job. I don't have a boss. You know, some of my business partners, they get on my last nerve. I might flip them the bird or tell them an expletive, which I shouldn't do. But my point I'm saying to you is that I, with the help of the good Lord who wakes me up every day and keeps me in my right mind and my body and my physical strength and my mental strength, I can do this. As long as I can find my way home, I'll be doing this. So if you don't want to hear me talking about this, block me, delete me, remove me, but you're going to listen to somebody else. And that other person, they will not be as transparent as I am. The show is called Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is H. Terrence Bardui. If only we knew. So my question to as the question to you tonight as we leave is, if everything you thought to be true was not true, how soon would you want to know the truth? Everything that you thought about, everything, spirituality, your spiritual life, your political life, your financial life, your personal life, and all kind of lives. If everything you thought to be true was not true, how soon would you want to know the truth? And your answer should be immediately. So that's the same thing I do with clients. I tell them you need to protect your income, you need to eliminate debt, because when you eliminate debt, you can save more and create a legacy for yourself and your family. The loved ones that you're always posting on social media, how much you love them so much, but you're not doing anything to secure that. So again, the show is called Tuesdays with Terrence.
Battery medium. Connected to virus alert scanner.
My name is H. Terrence Bardui. Some people call me H, some people call me Havis, some people call me Terrence, some people call me Mr. Bardui. If you're from the 767, Waiti Kubuli, the Commonwealth of Dominica, Waiti Kubuli tall is her body. You call me little boy. If you're really from Waiti Kubuli and you're from the village of Point Michel, St. Luke's Parish, aka La Pointe, you call me Luku Boy. Dominica made me, Boston raised me, now the South sustains me. So thank you for tuning in. You want to know more about what I just talked about tonight? Get on my calendar. Let's have the conversation. Get on my calendar and let's see how we can help you. It doesn't cost you anything to get on my calendar. Nothing at all. It doesn't cost you anything. And I promise you, when I finish asking you some questions, and that's why on this show, I never really give examples on your specific situation, because people know your business. It's nobody's business, man. It's nobody's business what you have, what you're doing. But as a licensed financial pro, I got to know so I can give you the advice, the right advice. I want to make sure you're protecting your legacy. I want to make sure you're doing the right things in the future. So, listen to me. Don't let anybody steal your joy. A wise man once said, and it's in the Bible, in Proverbs, it says, a good man leaves inheritance for his children's children. The great Billie Holiday sang a song, says, Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that has his own. And that's what I try to do, is to teach you how to have your own, so that when life happens, you know, you're not asking people and hitting GoFundMe's and make, like, and then you get mad at people because when they see you, they're ducking you because you're always asking for something. I just want to make sure you're putting stuff in place, and don't be scared to talk to me. I won't bite you. I have a big mouth, but my bark is bigger than my bite. I'm actually a sweet, loving guy, but I just have a big mouth. So as we close, get on my calendar. Roots of my rise. Good night, everybody. God bless you. I'm out. Peace. Tuesdays with Terrence.
Dominica made me. That's where it all began. Island breeze, coconut trees, the heart of my plan. From the hills and the smiles to the songs of the sea, that island spirit molded the person I'd be.
Boom.
Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray. On those snowy streets, learn to stand tall, navigating life, every rise, every fall. From the comments to the brownstones, I made my claim. With every lesson learned, I embraced my name.
It's Terrence Bardui.
Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial.
Good night, Cursorant. Calabash. Don't forget your calabash. Woo!
Now the South sustains me with its warm embrace, a community of strength and love in every space. From the bayous to the beaches, I found my place. In this journey of finance, I've learned to chase grace. Dominica made me, Boston raised me high. The South sustains my soul as I reach for the sky. With every sunrise, I'm thankful and free. A licensed financial pro, just being me.
Good night, everybody. We're hiring. You can do this too. We can teach you. We're hiring. Come join my team.
So here's to the roots that shaped who I am. From Dominica's beauty to Boston's Grand Slam. In the South I stand strong, with purpose and pride. Together with my journey, side by side.
Hasta la vista. If you like what you heard, share it. If not, it's okay. God bless you. Good night, everybody. I'm out. Boom.